And let's go ahead, dive into our first story of the night. Jaylen Brown, his father's wild situation. I got to take periodic pauses because, YouTube don't like you running the story too long without taking pauses to add to the content. Let's get it.
Ago, when the father of details all of this happening almost 24 hours ago, when the father of Jaylen Brown, Quentin Marcellus, ended up pulling up to this parking lot out here and ended up dinging his vehicle next to him. That vehicle was occupied at the time by Cross Tupola, 28-year-old youth football player who stepped out to check the damage. Heated words were exchanged between the two men. The victim ended up asking Brown, who, as you mentioned, stands at 7 feet, weighs 300 pounds, and is.
We got to stop it right there. This dude's 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. Jaylen Brown's father was a former professional boxer. 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. I don't even really think you got to be stabbing anybody. I'm just going to say, probably nobody going to really want to fuck with you. Do you really want to mess with Shaq? No. Even if Shaq 60, you nah, I don't want to risk it. You don't want to risk it. So it's actually crazy that a knife even came into play. The other thing is, I'm just going to be honest, this is definitely a situation that it clearly shows bruised ego often results in people actually being deleted, people getting their ass whipped. I've seen it all the time as a defense attorney where someone would say something like, someone can say, man, F you, you a B, while we're sitting in the house. But the minute you go outside and talk to that same person that way, hey, their ego bruised because it's in public. A lot of people are not here because they said something to someone and their feelings got hurt. Hurting somebody's feelings to somebody who is down with trigger play, gunplay, knife play is a fast way to get a person deleted and not being here. So all of this stemmed from ding in a parking lot on a car. That's crazy. A ding in a parking lot on a car. That's right. But that's right above. Dinging in a parking lot, a ding in your vehicle in a parking lot in a car is right above somebody stepping on your shoe. That's how ridiculous it is. And I've been in the parking lot with a really nice car and somebody just backed right into it and hit it. And believe me, I was pissed, but it was crazy too because the parking line stopped here. My car, it was a big ass car, so I'm parked and it was a little bit over the line. And this lady came and backed in and backed into my car. And I just kind of looked out to make sure it wasn't jacked up, and it wasn't. And her first response was, "You were so far over the line." I was like, "No, she didn't." But hey, it is something that can escalate. But that's the facts around this thus far.
The former boxer, if he wanted to fight, Brown ended up agreeing. As the victim walked away, Brown allegedly pulled out a knife. Witnesses say Brown stabbed the youth coach as many as 25 times, first to the back, then multiple times in the abdomen. In that police report,
just hearing the facts, where he's sitting is exactly where he needed to be. Just hearing the facts. I mean, unless we get different facts, we don't even got to watch no more of this video. This charge is 175% the correct charge. It's an attempted murder charge. Words were exchanged. It looks like the victim was in retreat mode. He didn't run and punch him in the head. He went, got a knife, started to attack the guy, stabbing him in the back and the stomach over 25 times. 25 times is you essentially seeing red. I don't know. Y'all have ever been in a fight, and people fight differently, but I can remember being in a fight and I was actually so calm I could think about it, but other people are in fight and there's no calmness to them. All they see is blood. All they see is red. I can remember, we won't go into details, but when the fight was over, I was just yeah, I'm cool. I was really so calm because I like being able to think. But some people just see red. 25 times stabbing somebody is an emotional outrage. So it's very telling that that person probably just exploded. That person probably just snapped in that moment. 25 times is kind of overkill. 25 times is 20 times of anything is actually overkill.
Or just doctors ended up describing his injury 25 times, first to the back, then multiple times in the abdomen. In that police report, just doctors ended up describing his injuries as catastrophic.
Whoa, this is crazy. This has nothing to do with this story. Never mind. I'm gonna keep my comment to myself. I'm gonna keep my comment to myself. Let's just finish playing it.
Ended up having a defensive cut in his hands as well as a broken rib. Surgeons had to remove a part of his stomach because his bowels were eviscerated, meaning that
God, bruh, yeah, you belong exactly where you are. I'm pretty sure that Mr. Brown also probably had lacerations on his hand. It's actually common when someone is stabbing someone, especially if it's multiple times like that the person doing the stabbing has lacerations on their hand because, one, all that damn blood will make it slippery. But oftentimes, people are using like a knife, like a kitchen knife, that doesn't have a end like that to protect your hand from sliding off. So that knife will actually slide and cut the hand. I don't know what type of knife it was, but if it was a knife, now, hunting knife that has that bar going across that T-bar handle, you're probably not going to get that slipping motion. But any other type of knife you typically get. So it's actually common that the perpetrator has cuts to his hand as well.
That they ended up spilling out. The victim is in critical condition. I talked to his girlfriend earlier today. She didn't want to go on camera, but I did talk to, because I wanted to talk to her attorney, but told me that the coach underwent another round of surgeries this morning. And because I can't hear you having technical issues, I do want to cover some other aspects of this story.
That's crazy. This dude was there to coach a game. It was some parking lot incident with the vehicles. It couldn't have been serious if it was in the parking lot. If it was in the parking lot, nobody hit another person's car going 30 miles an hour, completely obliterating their damn car. So it is very likely that this was something that was minor. People got out, words were exchanged, one person walked away, the victim in this case, and this gentleman essentially lost it. Mr. Brown lost it. His ego was bruised. He felt like he had to do something about it. And at 7 feet tall, 300 plus pounds, he gets a knife and stabs this coach 25 times.
There were a ton of witnesses out here who ended up seeing the gory scene and ended up getting a good look at the suspect's Lincoln Navigator. And
that dude big as shit. Apparently, I guess he showed up to the courtroom in a wheelchair. I don't want to hear that shit, bro. Even if you're in a wheelchair, if you 7 feet tall, if you're in a wheelchair, you about 5'10". So I don't want to hear it. He showed up in a wheelchair. I don't give a damn about his wheelchair. That's a big ass dude. Like, just whipping somebody's ass could potentially be an attempted murder charge for somebody that size.
The cops ended up pulling him over at a nearby interstate. A few minutes later, officers say that he had some cuts, scrapes, and a broken toe. Without being questioned, he admitted that this was all over a door ding, and he ended up.
This dude got. Now, I don't know what the relationship is between Jaylen Brown and his father, and it's sad because his name is going to be plastered all over this because of his celebrity. But essentially, his dad crashed out over a door ding. If him and his son have some type of relationship, I'm sure he probably has a very comfortable life. I would like to know what type of car he had. But I'm sure if him and his son have a relationship, he has a very comfortable life. And this dude just crashed out over a door ding. Gone forever. He's probably going to die in prison. Lack of emotional control, lack of situational awareness, lack of the ability to de-escalate a situation. This is actually a sad story for the victim. Hey, hopefully he makes it. If that victim passes away, I believe he's in critical condition. Mr. Brown, you're going to be looking at a murder one charge. Murder one, intentional premeditation with deliberation, all of that.
Refusing a formal interview, but does have a prior arrest from 2016 for battery, which ended up resulting in substantial injury. Witnesses, again.
battery in 2016, resulting in substantial injuries. The prosecution, hey, this is a track record of fucking people, of whooping people's ass. Bad thing to have when something like this is going down.
Several of them out here ended up picking him from photo lineups, and police say that evidence showed that he was the aggressor. Brown now is being charged with attempted murder. He made his first court appearance this afternoon at 1:30 local time. Prosecutors ended up arguing there that he is a danger to the community, noting that the brutal nature of this attack. And they also pointed out that he may have a possible outstanding warrant in Georgia. They ended up setting bond at $300,000, and if
that's actually crazy. That's actually crazy that he got a $300,000 bond. Like, that's actually low as hell. Normally, a charge like this, you normally, I mean, in my experience, I've only been doing this for 15 years and some change. Normally, a crime like this, judges will put a no bond on you. They're like, nah, bro, 25 times, you don't need to go nowhere. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to jail. So the fact that he got a bond, on this is actually crazy. I don't know if it was because of his son's celebrity status. I don't know if it was because he only had the one prior contact with court, but most judges, in my experience, would not have given somebody a bond for stabbing someone 25 times who walked away, who is now in critical condition. And this charge could potentially be upgraded to murder if that gentleman passes away. Real quick, some of the legal nuances here, and I think the biggest discussion is, again, aggravated assault. They didn't even go for that. Stabbing with a knife, the use of a weapon, the intent to cause serious injury. Attempted murder, prosecute must prove that there's an intent to kill and an overt act. The fact that there were multiple stab wounds to vital areas, we heard some of the heinous descriptions they gave, is actually going to be used by the prosecution to prove intent. The defense may argue that the intent was only to injure and not kill. The prosecution is going to flip it and counter that argument by saying that, hey, these were repeated stabbings. If he wanted to injure the guy, it would have been one or two stab wounds, just enough to eliminate the threat. The big issue here is every witness said that the guy was walking away. Once the person is walking away, there's no rational way that you can say there was a threat of death or severe bodily harm. Premeditation could elevate it to attempted first-degree murder is proven on these facts. If someone said, yo, what do you think the reasons are that they would say premeditation? I mean, let me know in the chat. Premeditated or not? I agree, Kelly. 25 times $300,000 bond. Let's say he got to pay 10% of that. $30,000. $30,000 to get out for stabbing somebody who may actually end up dying is actually crazy work. The premeditation that they're going to use, the fact that it was thought about, was the lapse in time between the argument and when the victim disengaged the argument. That's normally what they'll do. If me and you are arguing face to face, you at least have some specter of saying like, hey, I don't know, he was reaching. I don't know if he was reaching for something, so I just did something. But that's not the case here. This guy walked away. Then if we start the clock from the time the guy walked away, according to the news report, he actually goes get the knife at that point, then comes back. Once you have a break in whatever the situation could potentially be, and even if they're face-to-face arguing, there still isn't enough there to say that there's a threat of serious bodily harm or death, because I don't know how big this coach was, but bro, you 7 feet, 300 pounds. The only person who could probably be face-to-face with him in an argument and he legit have a threat of severe bodily harm or death is like Shaq or Yao Ming or something. Outside of that, I don't know. What was this coach? 5'10", 6 feet tall, maybe 220 pounds. Ugh. Like, no, it's just nothing here. This is an easy case. I don't think you're going to get much pushback from anyone on this case, presenting these facts to the jury. Again, did not pass go, did not collect $200, get up out of here. We don't want to see you again. I think that's how this case is going to play out.